bound state of elementary particles. In the third lecture of this series, we have seen that the formation of deuterium from hydrogen is the first process in the formation of stable matter from primordial hydrogen. We have also seen that certain particles are stable, but most are unstable, decay with a widely varying lifetime. An interesting property of neutron that it is stable inside a nucleus and decay in a few minutes when let free is also discussed in a previous lecture. In this lecture, we discuss some simple examples of two-particle bound states starting with hydrogen E minus P plus and extends to positronium E minus E plus, then charmonium C bar and bottomonium B bar. The fascinating feature of wave functions in infinite space is that they can have two distinct forms. One, bound states that are localized to one region, and second, free states that extend over the whole space. Both kinds of states can coexist in a single system. The formation of hydrogen atom is one of the simplest examples of bound states in quantum mechanics. A positronium is an unstable bound state of an electron and a positron. It decays into photons. A nucleus is a bound state of protons and neutrons or nucleons. Since nucleons are bound states of quarks and the nuclei are bound states of nucleons, the properties of nuclei should be deducible from the properties of quarks and their interactions, according to the standard model in particle physics. The standard model also specifies the origin of three types of forces. In classical physics, the electromagnetic interaction is propagated by electromagnetic waves, which are continuously emitted and absorbed. While this is an adequate description for long-distance interactions, at short distances, the quantum nature of the interaction must be taken into account. In quantum theory, the interaction energy is transmitted discontinuously by the exchange of photons, which are members of the family of spin-1 bosons of the standard model. Photons are referred to as gauge bosons or force carriers of the electromagnetic interaction. The use of the word gauge refers to the fact that the electromagnetic interaction possesses a fundamental symmetry called gauge invariance. For example, Maxwell's equations of classical electromagnetism are invariant under a specific phase transformation of the electromagnetic fields, that is, the gauge transformation. This property is common to all three interactions of nature. The weak and strong interactions are also mediated by the exchange of spin-1 gauge bosons. For the weak interaction, these are the W plus, W minus and the Z0 bosons. The superscript denotes electric charges. The masses of these particles is about 80 to 90 times the mass of the proton. For the strong interaction, the force carriers are called gluons. There are 8 gluons, all of which have 0 mass and are electrically neutral. Hadrons are the bound states of quarks. Nucleons are examples of hadrons, but there are several hundreds more, most of which are unstable and decay by one of the three interactions. It was the abundance of these states that drove the search for a simplifying theory that would give an explanation for their existence and led to the quark model in the year 1960. Examples of the most common unstable hadrons is the pion, which exists in three electrical charges, pi plus, pi minus, and pi 0. Hadrons are most important because free quarks are unobservable in nature, and so to deduce their properties, we are forced to study hadrons, or studying quarks without hadron is not an option. The analysis of bound states is simplest when the constituents travel at speeds substantially less than c, because then the non-relativistic quantum mechanics can be applied. Such is the case for hydrogen and for hadrons made out of heavy quarks C and B. The more familiar light quark states made out of U, D, and S are much more difficult to handle because they are intrinsically relativistic, and the quantum field theory is not well suited to the description of bound states. Most of the techniques available assume that the particles are initially free and become free again after some brief interaction, whereas in a bound state, the particles interact continuously over an extended period. Thus, there exists a very rich theory of charmonium, C bar, the Xi meson system, and bottomonium, B bar, the gamma system. But comparatively, little can be said about the excited states of U bar, say, or D bar. How can you tell whether a given bound state is relativistic or not? The simplest criterion is as follows. If the binding energy is small compared to the rest energies of the constituents, then the system is non-relativistic. For example, the binding energy of hydrogen is 13.6 electron volts, whereas the rest energy of an electron is 0.511 million electron volts. This is clearly a non-relativistic system. On the other hand, quark-quark binding energies are on the order of a few hundred million electron volts, which is about the same as the effective rest energy of U, D, or S quarks, but substantially less than C, B, and T, as shown in the next slide. So, the light quark hadrons are relativistic, but heavy quark systems are not. In general, the total energy of a composite system is sum of three terms. Number one, rest energy of the constituents. Second, kinetic energy of the constituents. And third, the potential energy of the configuration. The latter two are typically comparable in size. If the binding energy is much less than the constituent rest energies, so too is their kinetic energy, and the system is non-relativistic. On the other hand, if the mass of the composite structure is substantially different from the sum of the rest masses of the constituents, the kinetic energy is large and the system is relativistic. The foundation for non-relativistic quantum theory is Schrodinger equation given by minus h cross square divided by 2m del square plus v into psi equals I s cross d psi by dt with del square defined as the Laplacian operator. It governs the time evolution of the wave function psi rt, describing a particle of mass m in the presence of a specified potential energy Vrt, that is modulus psi rt square d cube r is the probability of finding the particle in the infinitesimal volume d cube r at time t. Since the particle must be somewhere, the integral of psi square over all space has to be 1. We say that the wave function is normalized. If v does not depend explicitly on t, the Schrodinger equation can be solved by separation of variables. That is, psi rt equals psi r into e to the power minus iet by s cross, where psi satisfies the time-independent Schrodinger equation, minus h cross square divided by 2m del square plus v into psi equals E psi, and the separation constant E is the energy of the particle. The operator on the left is Hamiltonian, defined by h is equal to minus h cross square divided by 2m del square plus v, and the time independent Schrodinger equation has the form of an eigenvalue equation h psi equals E psi. Psi is the eigenfunction of h and E is the eigenvalue. In the case of a spherically symmetrical or central potential, v is a function only of the distance from the origin, and the time-independent Schrodinger equation separates in spherical coordinates. Psi r theta phi equals ur by r y l ml theta phi. Here, y is a spherical harmonic. These functions are tabulated in the table shown on the right side for values of L equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3. The constants L and ml corresponds to the orbital angular momentum quantum numbers. UR satisfies the radial Schrodinger equation minus h cross square divided by 2m d square u by dr square plus vr plus h cross square divided by 2m l into l plus 1 divided by r square multiplied by u equals EU. This has exactly the same form as the equation we mentioned earlier, minus s cross square divided by 2m into del square plus v into psi equal to E psi for one dimension, except that the potential is augmented by the centrifugal barrier s cross squared by 2m L into L plus 1 divided by r square. The table gives spherical harmonics for L equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3. For example, y00 equals 1 by 4 pi, y10 equals root of 3 divided by 4 pi cos theta, and so on. The hydrogen atom, that is electron plus proton, is not an elementary particle, but it serves as the model for non-relativistic bound systems. The proton is so heavy that it just sits at the origin. The wave function in this question is that of the electrons. Its potential energy due to the electrical attraction of the nucleus is Vr equals minus E squared by R in Gaussian units. When this potential is put into the radial equation, it is found that normalizable solutions occur only when E assumes one of the special values, that is En is equal to minus m e to the power 4 divided by 2h cross square n square equals minus alpha square into m c square divided by 2n square equals minus 13.6 electron volt by n square, where n equals 1, 2, 3, etc. And alpha is defined as E square divided by hc in Gaussian units equals 1 divided by 137.036 is the fine structure constant. The corresponding normalized wave function psi n L ml r theta phi t is 2 divided by na q n minus L minus 1 factorial divided by 2n into n plus L factorial the whole cube to the power half into e to the power minus r divided by na into 2r by na to the power L, ln L minus 1, 2L plus 1, 2r divided by na, YL ml, theta phi, e to the power minus ENT divided by S cross, where A equals H cross square divided by M E square equals 0.529 into 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter or 0.529 Armstrong is the Bohr radius, roughly the size of the atom, and capital L is an associated Lagoury polynomial. The wave function is labeled by three numbers: n, the principal quantum number, which can be any positive integer. It determines the energy of the state. L, an integer ranging from 0 to n minus 1, that specifies the total orbital angular momentum. And m, an integer that can assume any value between minus L and plus L, giving the z component of the angular momentum. Evidently, there are 2L plus 1 different mLs for each L and n different Ls for each n. The total number of distinct states that share the same principal quantum number n, and hence the energy is therefore sigma L is equal to 0 to n minus 1, 2L plus 1 equals n square. This is called the degeneracy of the nth energy level. The hydrogen is a surprisingly degenerate system. Spherical symmetry alone dictates that the 2L plus 1 states with a given value of the total angular momentum should be degenerate, since they differ only in the orientation of L. But this suggests a sequence 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. Whereas the energy level of hydrogen have much higher degeneracies 1, 4, 9, 16, etc. This is because states with different L share the same n. It is an unusual feature of the Coulomb potential. In practice, we do not measure the energies themselves, but rather the wavelength of the light emitted when the electron makes a transition from a higher energy level to a lower one, or the light absorbed when it goes on the other way. The photon carries the difference in energy between the initial and final states. According to Planck's formula, we have E photon equals h nu equals E initial minus E final equals minus m e to the power 4 divided by 2h cross square into 1 by ni square minus 1 by nf square. The emitted wavelength is therefore given by 1 by lambda equals r into 1 by nf square minus 1 by ni square. This is known as Rydberg formula for hydrogen spectrum, where R is defined as m e to the power 4 divided by 4 pi h cross cube c equals 1.09737 into 10 to the power 5 centimeter inverse. Rydberg formula for the hydrogen spectrum, discovered experimentally by 19th century spectroscopists much before Max Planck and Niels Bohr, for whom R was simply an empirical constant. The greatest victory of Bohr theory was its derivation of the Rydberg formula and the expression for R in terms of the fundamental constants m, e, c and s cross, that is mass, charge of the electron, velocity of light and Planck's constant. Fine structure. In the atomic physics, the fine structure describes the splitting of the spectral lines of atoms. For example, the spectral lines of hydrogen were resolved into doublets, triplets and even larger families of closely spaced peaks. This fine structure is attributable to two distinct mechanisms. Number one, relativistic correction. The first term in the Hamiltonian, h equals minus h cross square divided by 2m into del square plus v, comes from the classical expression for kinetic energy, that is p square by 2m, with the quantum replacements p equals minus I s cross del. The lowest order relativistic correction is minus p to the power 4 divided by 8 m cube c square. The second one is spin-orbit coupling. The spinning electron constitutes a tiny magnet with a dipole moment mu e is equal to minus e divided by mc into s. Before proceeding further, a word about perturbation theory. Suppose we have solved the Schrodinger equation for some Hamiltonian h in the sense that we know the allowed energies Ej and the corresponding wave function psi j. J is the collection of indices used to label the states. In the case of hydrogen, it stands for N, L and Ml. Now, suppose we change the Hamiltonian slightly, adding a small perturbation delta h, so that the new Hamiltonian is h plus delta h. This will displace the energy levels slightly. By how much? Delta Ej is the jth energy level shifted. To a good approximation, it is delta Ej is the average value of delta h and computed in the state psi j, given by delta Ej equals mean value of delta Hj equals integral psi j star delta H psi j d cube x. Further, classical formula for kinetic energy is T equals p square by 2m, and the relativistic formula T relativistic equals root of p square c square plus m square c to the power 4 minus mc square equals mc square into root of 1 plus p divided by mc the whole square minus 1 equals mc square into 1 plus half p by mc the whole square minus 1 by 8 p divided by mc to the power 4 plus etc. minus 1 equals p square by 2m minus p to the power 4 divided by 8m cube c square plus etc. The lowest order relativistic correction to the Hamiltonian is therefore delta H relativistic equals minus 1 divided by 8m cube c square p to the power 4, with p square by 2m equals En minus V, or delta E relativistic equals minus 1 divided by 2mc square En square minus 2En mean V plus mean V square. Since V equals minus E squared by R, we now require only the expectation values of 1 by R and 1 by R square. Expectation value of 1 by R equals 1 by n square A, and 1 by R square equals 1 divided by L plus half n cube A square. Coming to spin-orbit coupling, the spinning of the electron constitutes a tiny magnet with a dipole moment mu E equals minus E divided by mc into S. The net result is a perturbation on the nth energy level by an amount delta EFS equals minus alpha to the power 4 mc square into 1 by 4 n square multiplied by 2n by j plus half minus 3 by 2, where j equals L plus S is the total angular momentum, that is spin plus orbital of the electron. Bohr energies goes like alpha square mc square. Fine structure carries 2 more powers of alpha and hence is smaller by a factor of about 10 to the power minus 4. We are talking about only a very tiny correction. Since L can take on any integer value from 0 to n minus 1, j can be any half integer from half to n minus half. Thus, the nth Bohr level En splits into n sublevels. Spin-orbit coupling, from the electron's point of view, it is the proton that circles around, and this orbital motion creates a magnetic field at the center given by B equals EV divided by CR square. In terms of electron's orbital angular momentum, L is equal to R into mv. B equals E divided by mc r cube L. The spinning electron constitutes a tiny magnetic dipole with a dipole moment mu equals minus E divided by mc into S. From classical electrodynamics, we know that the energy of a magnetic dipole mu in the presence of a magnetic field B is W equals minus mu dot B. But the electron is not in an inertial frame. To make all this rigorous, we should really speak of the instantaneously co-moving frame of the electron, the inertial system whose velocity coincides with that of the electron at a given moment. The Hamiltonian for spin-orbit coupling is thus delta HSO equals E square divided by 2m square c square r cube into L dot S. The appearance of the velocity of light c is due to the Gaussian units used in our case, and it is not there in SI units. The magnetic dipole moment is defined as current times area I into A, but in Gaussian units it is IA by C. The proportionality factor between the magnetic dipole moment and the angular momentum is known as gyromagnetic ratio. Classically, it should have the value minus E divided by 2mc, and this is correct for orbital angular momentum. But it turns out that spin is twice as effective as it ought to be in producing a magnetic dipole. One of the major successes of Dirac's original theory of the electron was its explanation of this extra 2. Even this is not quite right. There are minute corrections introduced by quantum electrodynamics that were first calculated by Schevinger in late 1940s. By now, both experimental and theoretical determinations of the anomalous magnetic moment of the electron have been carried to an excellent precision and agreement. The fine structure constant alpha owes to its name to the fact that it sets the relative scale of the fine structure in hydrogen. However, one might equally well say that alpha square sets the scale of the Bohr level themselves. Actually, the best way to characterize the fine structure constant is to say that it is the dimensionless measure of the square of the fundamental charge in units of h cross c. In the presence of spin-orbit coupling, neither L nor S is separately conserved. The conserved quantity is the total angular momentum J equals L plus S. Squaring, we have J square equals L square plus S square plus 2 into L dot S, and hence we have L dot S equals half H cross square J into J plus 1 minus L into L plus 1 minus S into S plus 1, where J, L and S are the quantum numbers describing total, orbital and spin angular momenta respectively. For the electron, S equal to half. This time, we need the expectation value of r to the power minus 3, that is 1 by r cube expectation equals 1 divided by L into L plus half into L plus 1 n cube a cube. Putting this into the previous equation, we find delta ESO equals alpha to the power 4 mc square j into j plus 1 minus L into L plus 1 minus 3 by 4 divided by 4n cube into L into L plus half into L plus 1. This is of the same order as the relativistic correction alpha to the power 4 mc square, even though the physical agencies involved in this treatment are entirely different. The combination of the two effects, relativistic correction and a spin orbit coupling, yields the total fine structure for hydrogen. Using the fact that J can be L plus half or L minus half only, we obtain delta EFS equals minus alpha to the power 4 mc square into 1 by 4n square into 2n divided by j plus half minus 3 by 2. This formula is identical to that for the relativistic correction alone, except that L is replaced by J. The energies are all depressed, that is delta EFS is negative. Since L take on any integer value from 0 to n minus 1, J can be any half integer from 1 by 2 to n minus half. So, the nth energy level En splits into n sub-levels. Fine structure of the hydrogen spectrum is given in the figure. The nth Bohr level fine line splits into n sub-levels shown by dashed lines, characterized by J equals half, 3 by 2, etc., n minus half, except for the last two different values of L contribute to each level. L equals J minus half and L equals J plus half. In the spectroscopic nomenclature, we write S for L equals 0, P for L equals 1, D for L equals 2, F for L equals 3 as indicated in the figure. All levels are shifted downwards, which is also shown in the diagram. A striking feature of the fine structure formula in the equation delta Fs equals minus alpha to the power 4 mc square into 1 by 4n square multiplied by 2n divided by j plus half minus 3 by 2 is that it depends only on J, not on L. In general, two different values of L share the same energy. For example, the 2s half and 2p half states remain perfectly degenerate. In their 1947, Lamb and Rutherford performed a classic experiment which demonstrated that this is not the case. The S state is slightly higher in energy than the P state. The explanation of the Lamb shift was provided by Bethe, Feynman, and others. It is due to this quantization of the electromagnetic field itself. Everywhere else in the analysis, the Bohr levels, fine structure formula, and even hyperfine splitting, the electromagnetic field is treated entirely classically. The Lamb shift, by contrast, is an example of a radiative correction in quantum electrodynamics, to which the semi-classical theory is insensitive. Here, the semi-classical theory is used because the electron is treated quantum mechanically, whereas the electromagnetic field is treated classically. In the Feynman formalism, it results from the loop diagram shown in the figure in the next slide. Qualitatively, the first diagram in the figure describes spontaneous production of electron-positron pairs in the neighborhood of the nucleus, that is, vacuum polarization, leading to a partial screening of the proton's charge. The second diagram reflects the fact that the ground state of the electromagnetic field is not zero. As the electron moves through the vacuum fluctuations in the field, it jiggles slightly, and this alters its energy. The third diagram leads to a tiny modification of the electron's magnetic dipole moment. We calculate Lamb shift. Results without derivation is given below for L equals 0. Delta E Lamb equals alpha to the power 5 mc square divided by 4n cube kn0, where kn0 is a numerical factor that varies slightly with n from 12.7 for n equal to 1 to 13.2 for n tends to infinity. For L not equal to 0, delta Lamb equals alpha to the power 5 mc square 1 by 4n cube knl plus or minus 1 by pi j plus half L plus half, for j equals L plus or minus half, where knl is a very small number less than 0.05 that varies slightly with n and L. However, Lamb shift is extremely small except for L equal to 0 states, where it is about 1/10 the size of the fine structure. Because it depends on L, it will lift the degeneracy of the pairs of states with common n and j, and in particular, it splits the 2s half and 2p half levels, as shown in the figure, the fine structure of hydrogen spectrum. Fine structure and Lamb shift are minute corrections to the Bohr energy levels, but they are not the end of the story. There is a refinement that is still smaller by a factor of thousands due to the spin of the nucleus. The proton, like the electron, constitutes a tiny magnet, but because it is so much heavier, its dipole moment is much smaller. Mu p equals gamma p into E divided by mpc into sp. The proton is a composite object and its magnetic moment is not simply Es cross divided by 2 mpc, as it would be for a truly elementary particle of spin half. Hence, the factor gamma p, whose experimental value is 2.7928, the nuclear spin interacts with the electron's orbital motion by the same mechanism as the spin orbit contribution to the fine structure. In addition, it interacts directly with the electron spin. Together, the nuclear spin orbit interaction and the proton electron spin coupling are responsible for the hyperfine splitting. Delta EHF equals m divided by mp alpha to the power 4 mc square into gamma p divided by 2nq plus or minus 1 divided by f plus half L plus half for f equals j plus or minus half, where f is the total angular momentum quantum number, that is orbital plus spin. Comparing the fine structure formula, delta Fs equals minus alpha to the power 4 mc square divided by 4n to the power 4, 2n divided by j plus half minus 3 by 2. We see that the difference in scale is due to the mass ratio m divided by mp. It follows that hyperfine effects in hydrogen are about 1000 times smaller. If the orbital angular momentum is 0, then F can take on two possible values: 0 in the singlet state when the spins are oppositely aligned, and 1 in the triplet state when the spins are parallel. Thus, each L is equal to 0 level splits into two, with the singlet pushed down and the triplet lifted up. In the ground state, n is equal to 1, the energy gap is epsilon equals E triplet minus E singlet equals 32 gamma p into E1 square divided by 3 mpc square, corresponding to a photon of wavelength lambda equals 2 pi h cross c divided by epsilon equals 21.1 centimeter. This is the transition that gives rise to the famous 21 centimeter line in microwave astronomy.